Morbid Enterprises is, well, formerly known as Morbid Industries, is a Halloween product creator and wholesaler that began back in around 2002 to 2003. And I guess their time, their renaissance, if you will, their prime, was probably from 2005 to 2011, give or take. That's also right around when they were making products for Spirit Halloween. And the reason I'm talking about Morbid today, and I'm going to try to be as honest and open with you as possible on this video, is because as of recent, there have been rumors that Morbid Enterprises has gone under, has gone out of business. And to not dispel rumors and to not, endorse or deny anything, from what I'm aware of, the state of Morbid Enterprises is in jeopardy at the moment. Of course, Rubies, which bought out Morbid Enterprises in the 2000 teens, I don't know what year exactly, but Rubies, who owns Morbid and lots of other smaller Halloween corporations, filed for bankruptcy several months ago because of the coronavirus. And ever since, the state of Morbid and all of these other companies has been up in the air. But today, I wanted to just take a very frank look at Morbid Enterprises and tell you a little bit around the controversy surrounding this company. So as you can see, I have Spasm here behind me. Spasm, if you didn't know, I assume most of you do, is my favorite Halloween decoration of all time. Yes, made by Morbid Enterprises, sculpted by Jordu Shell, very famous sculptor. He's worked alongside other companies like Distortions Unlimited. And I believe back in the prime days of Morbid Industries, I think they made some of easily the best Halloween products and masks I've ever seen. And I've looked through the old catalogs from 2006, 2007, 2008 Morbid, and I've just wished that I could get my hands, my claws, on some of those decorations and masks. And Morbid has changed a lot over the years, as you know. And a lot of people find it really funny to bash Morbid now, and to make fun of their products, but I don't want to just make fun of Morbid's new products, because obviously, let's be honest, some of them are laughable. There are some now that I think look completely ridiculous. But I want to understand what happened to Morbid Enterprises, Morbid Industries. What happened? Well, let me tell you a little bit about my history with Morbid. Back when I started YouTube in 2013, I was trying to get noticed by a lot of Halloween companies. And if you remember, in 2014, I believe it was, I actually did a partnership video with Morbid. I actually worked alongside Morbid in making this video about Halloween props, and the goal was they were going to send me some products to review and kind of discuss and talk about, kind of like a partnership. And in return, I would talk about their products on the channel and get them featured out. And it was a really great partnership, and I loved doing it.
This video is brought to you by Morbid Enterprises. They gave me the inspiration for this video, and I'd just like to dedicate this video to them.
And one thing I wanted to say about that era of Morbid is that they took a chance on a little YouTuber Halloween guy like me, and I really respected that, and I still do to this day. I have been in contact with a lot of people from Morbid, and so it's a company that's really close to me, not just because they made some of my favorite decorations, but also because the crew were really, really cool. I remember talking to the old CEO, founder of Morbid. His name was Mark, and he was just a really cool guy. Everyone seemed really down to earth. They had a passion for their products. And then, of course, I believe it was in 2013, Mark stepped down and a new CEO took over Morbid. And then shortly thereafter, Rubies got involved and bought out Morbid, and it was right around maybe 2014, 2015 that people started to notice a decline in the products coming out of Morbid. We saw so many unique designs, sculpts, creatures, even licensed characters that came out of Morbid. Of course, Spasm being my favorite, but there were so many other ones. You can just see the list of catalogs. I mean, Hex is another very popular one. Of course, you also have all of their masks. You have Reagan from The Exorcist. They did a life-size Nosferatu, Captain Spaulding. They did some really cool stuff back in their day. And even with their small tabletop stuff and home decor pieces, I think they did a good job overall. And they even had some designs that were never brought to light that I really wish would have existed, because I thought they were really cool ideas that I guess never made it to the limelight. Without the licensing involved, we also have really cool life-size creations, one of my favorites being the giant alien leader. Morbid always did the weird and cool stuff, sometimes even controversial stuff, with some of the baby products that they made back in the day that I think really made them stand out. And a lot of people remember Wheelchair Psycho being a character at Spirit back in 2013. There are a lot of memories that I have with Morbid Enterprises products. But when it comes down to it, in 2014 and 2015, they started to lose it, not only for me, but for a lot of people in the Halloween industry and community, at least I would feel. And I think one of the reasons is to make products like Spasm, to make products that are more lasting and worthwhile, they take more of an effort to produce. They cost more money to make stuff like this. It's really cheap to make stuff with a hot glue gun and cheap plastic and throw a piece of fabric over it and call it a day, than to actually put in the effort and then receive benefits from that. But I feel like the shorter route was taken, at least in recent years, and they still had some good designs, don't get me wrong, and there were definitely some creative moments from Morbid, and I still like some of the pieces that came out, but on the whole, the catalog from 2016 on does not compare at all to their old catalogs. And I guess, you know, you could see it coming. When I heard that Morbid was maybe out of business, when they filed for bankruptcy under Rubies, I could see it coming. And that was kind of sad for me. Being a company that I was so close to, not only the crew and the people that I talked to, but also the products that they made that I really appreciated. It was sad to see them go. So why am I talking about it in this video? Is it just a nostalgia piece? Partially. But the other reason is to highlight something for Morbid, if you're watching this, and for other companies who are watching this video who may be watching. You have to put in quality over quantity. It's so easy to pump out 100,000 creepy monsters made of plastic and made with a hot glue gun, and you drape a piece of fabric over it. That does not compare to a really high-quality product with a good sculpt, a creative design, and lasting features. There's something about that you can't get anywhere else. And in recent years, when Morbid stuff was mostly being sold at Party City and the Halloween City, I remember just going up to it and thinking, how did we get to this? From Spasm and Hex and all of the OG monsters to like a clown with a cleaver that's made out of cheap plastic. It just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. And I think the reason a lot comes down to manufacturing and wanting to get a product that can be sold for a lot of money made for as cheaply as possible. And I know how the business works, and I understand and respect all of the business decisions there, but ultimately, people want value for their money. When they don't see it there, they'll turn elsewhere. And I think that's what's happened, sadly. And this is kind of a warning to other companies that want to create these products, because people are frugal with their dollar. I've even noticed of recent shopping at places like Spirit Halloween and from other companies like Morris Costumes and SVI and YJ and Techie Design and all of these other companies that I'm a lot more frugal with how I spend my money on these things because I know they don't last typically, and I want my money to last me as long as possible. That's how people do, make financial decisions. So, all of that to say this, Morbid, if you're still around, I hope you can turn things around and make a better business for yourself. If you're gone, then I'm gonna miss you. I know your modern incarnation of Morbid isn't what I want it to be, but I remember the good old days and what you could do, and I know you can do it again. I want to say this. I love the Halloween industry. I always have since I was a kid. I remember getting Spasm back when I was just a little tyke. I was a little guy. And I love this stuff, and I don't want to see the industry fail. But if we're not careful, it can, and it will. So keep that in mind. Know that I love the Halloween industry, and I appreciate each and every one of you for watching this video, and I hope you can get a conversation going in the comments, whether you agree with me, whether you disagree. It's all cool. I just want to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Morbid Enterprises, I salute you, and what amazing products you made, because truly, back in the day, you were my favorite Halloween company. So, in a way, this is a bon voyage. For all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer.